Well, that went quickly. What happened to the week? We're already at Friday, the 27th of September. That means tomorrow is our live program between 9 and 10 a.m. Thai time. Any topics, anything on your mind, any questions you have, it's your program, it's free, and we'd love to have you join in. And now we've got quite a lot of very interesting stories today. Bit of a forecast of what's going to be happening with the Thai baht as well. Here in Phang last night, wow, we had a thunderstorm out of nowhere, just one of those tropical storms that just developed, and then it went bang. There were some very loud noises and a sudden drop of rain out of nowhere. It happens this time of the year. Now let's get on with our first story. A quick update with the floods. And ThaiPBSWorld.com reports central provinces bracing for Chao Phraya overflows from this Saturday. Riverside communities in 10 central provinces, including Bangkok, are being advised to brace for overflows from the Chao Phraya River from Saturday. So you're getting all that rain up in the north, it's got to go somewhere, and a lot of it does go down the Chao Phraya, heading to Bangkok. And it notes, as well as Bangkok, the other provinces are Uthai Thani, Chainat, Singbury, Angtong, Suphanburi, Ayutthaya, Lopburi, Pathum Thani, Nonthaburi and Samut Prakan. So I might have murdered the pronunciation, but at least you could read them. Now, somebody else who had quite a lot of water around her yesterday, this is an interesting story and just got question marks in my mind. Russian woman rescued after spending 7 hours adrift in the sea at Sattahip. Reported by the PattayaNews.com, a Russian woman was rescued after drifting for 7 hours in the sea off Bang Sarai Beach in Sattahip district after losing her way while swimming. It's been reported her name was Ms. Junior, 40 years old, and she was spotted floating around by the crew of a squid fishing boat at 4:30 in the afternoon on September the 25th. According to Ms. Junior, she'd been staying at a hotel in Najomtien, and she'd gone for a swim in the sea around 9 a.m. after admittedly consuming what she said was a small amount of alcohol. Consuming a small amount of alcohol the night before or just before 9 a.m. in the morning. And during her swim, she lost her sense of direction and ended up drifting about 8 kilometres away from the shore. Exhausted and disoriented, she remained afloat for over 7 hours until the fishing boat crew discovered her and safely brought her aboard. Okay, how often does this happen? You're out there having a swim and suddenly you find yourself floating away from the shore, presumably screaming and yelling, trying to attract attention, and then next you're 8 kilometres offshore, pretty strong currents, and some 7 hours later she's fished out of the sea by the people in the squid boat. Well, luckily, of course, the seas in the Gulf of Thailand are nice and warm, and she did well to survive, fairly unharmed it seems. But yes, interesting story, and I would like to find out if there's more to that. We may find out in the future. Now we go to Thai PBS World now, to the south of Thailand. 8 rangers wounded by roadside improvised explosive device in Narathiwat. Paramilitary rangers were injured by an IED planted at the roadside in Raghare district, I'm just guessing that one, in Thailand's southernmost province of Narathiwat. The rangers, including the driver, were in a pickup truck. As the truck was approaching a utility pole in Village 1, insurgents hiding in the nearby bushes detonated the device. The force of the blast and the shrapnel damaged the truck and injured all 8 men. And of course, the scene of the explosion sealed off, and an explosive ordnance disposal team searching the area for more IEDs. Rarely a week goes by where we don't hear a story. Now, I should say that the southern part of Thailand generally is very safe. There are probably some side streets in some areas that you need to keep away from, but if you are just going on the main highways, it is seen to be very safe. Obviously, a lot of traffic and tourists do that every single day of the week. Another crypto theft in Bangkok. We go to the Bangkok Post. Arrests made after man beaten in crypto dispute. 9 Vietnamese men have been arrested in Bangkok on charges of illegally detaining a Thai woman and a Taiwanese man and physically assaulting the latter to force him to pay a debt of 1.7 million baht for the purchase of cryptocurrency. I'm not sure why that's in bold. Immigration officers began the investigation after receiving information that a group of foreign nationals had detained a couple over an unpaid debt. Investigators found the suspects were Vietnamese nationals running a digital currency trading business in Thailand. They stayed in a house in Lat Pao in the area of the Chatachak district. And immigration police revoked the stay permits for the 9 Vietnamese and seized the firearms and the vehicles from them. And the suspects were handed over to the PHANG police station for legal action. There's a lot more details in that story if you want to find out what happened or what brought about this action between the 9 Vietnamese and the 2 victims in the Bangkok Post story. A bit too long and convoluted to go through on a program like this. Now, we have been talking a lot about currencies, particularly the Thai baht, obviously, over the past couple of months, and this sudden surge of the Thai baht against a lot of other currencies over the past 3 or 4 months, particularly and obviously, and in some ways worryingly, against the US dollar. Now, it's not as if it hasn't been at this level before, but this sudden 15% rise against the USD in such a short time is seen as worrying by some. Now, I thought we'd go to a bit of a forecast, and I checked some of the forecasts, and they all sort of were singing roughly the same song, so I thought I'd share that with you. Now, this is one of the sites, longforecast.com, and it's saying that the Thai baht is 32 Thai baht to $1 US today. Then it goes through some forecasts month by month for the rest of this year and the future. And it's this middle column that we're sort of looking at, which gives the lows and the highs and the sort of range that they think the baht will be trading against the USD. So if we look at next year, it's saying it's going to be trading in the sort of the realms of below 30 baht to the dollar to 31 baht. We go to 2026 and it's sort of saying a range of 30 to 32 baht to the dollar. Then we get to 2027 and it starts during the year going up from the sort of 31s up to the 34 baht to the dollar. And then 2028, it's suggesting it's going to be trading in the range of, say, 34s up to 35 and 36 Thai baht to the US dollar. So that's just one website that's doing some forecasts, one that I follow from time to time. There are plenty of others. And of course, there's a lot of keyboard warriors who are suddenly currency experts who have their own ideas what's going to be happening with the Thai baht. But really, I suppose what that forecast is saying is that over the next 3 or 4 years, they expect it to trade roughly in the area it's been trading for the last 3 or 4 years before. Okay, to some useful information. This might save you a few bahts, published in the Cowsod English Facebook page. It's from the Public Relations Department. Yesterday they issued these phone scam alerts. They say, scam alert, do not answer calls that begin with +697, +698 or +66. But it says, though, +66 is Thailand's country code, if a call is made via voice over internet protocol, it should initially be suspected of being a scam. These phone scams will ask for personal information and try to deceive anyone answering the call. So there you are. Keep an eye on +697, +698 or +66 if you're actually in Thailand. And up the top there's that hotline 1441, a good number to remember if you are being scammed in those prefixes, +697, +698, or if you're in Thailand and you see +66 as well. Just finally, there's an article in Pattaya Mail today, Thai same-sex marriage, hurrah, but be aware of the implications. Now, interesting article because it goes through the fact that now same-sex couples from January next year will be able to be married legally in Thailand. It also mentions some of the pitfalls and some of the challenges, many of those challenges well known to heterosexual married couples, but worth reading if it's of interest to you. And at the end it also mentions the fact that foreigners will be able to marry other foreigners, same-sex couples, in Thailand, although depending on where you're living in the world, that marriage may not be recognised in your home country. But that story in pattayamail.com. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Big thanks to 5 Star Marine and Beach House Thailand. Links in the description below. Please subscribe. I think I've said everything. We'll see you tomorrow.